this is sort of impromptu. I was going to go take a little hike, and there's like this clearing and a picnic area by this creek that is kind of unoccupied. You may hear cars, and I'm going to test the sound and hope that you can hear me for this flow. And I don't have a yoga mat. I have a random picnic blanket that I had in the back of my car. But I thought this was a really good place for the video that I'm doing this week, which is on letting go. And, you know, it's a full moon, it's Passover season, there's lots of kind of symbolism regardless of your belief system in terms of like letting go, releasing things to the divine and letting your life move forward. And so I think that's the focus of this practice. It's going to be really thinking about what it is that you need to let go of. And I'm going to put the quote that I have in the description, or maybe I'll do a read over on it. But the quote is something along the lines of, even though we may want to move forward, we might have one foot on the brake. And in order to truly be free, we have to let go. Release the fear, release the pain, and release the things that are holding you back so that you can move forward into a new life. And the question is, what would you let go of today? And that might be old relationships that aren't serving you anymore. It could be a job, a place. It could be a way of being or thinking in the world that is no longer serving you. So as we practice today, I really want you to focus in the various moves and postures on the release and that feeling when, you know, you just let go of the struggle in a posture, or you let go and release a posture that's difficult. And it's sort of like if you just like tense all your muscles up really tight and then you let go, like what a relief it feels like. And that's what letting go in life can feel like too. So we're going to go ahead and get started in child's pose. Go ahead and put your feet together, your knees are wide, stretch out onto your mat, forehead comes down, and breathe. On your next exhale, I want you to press yourself up to tabletop position. Shoulders are under your, or above your wrists, hips in line with your knees. We'll see how well I can do this because I have zero padding and there's sticks under here, but just bear with me. You're gonna inhale, look up to the sky, drop your shoulders, drop your belly. Exhale, curl into a cat pose. Everything comes in. Look to your belly button. Round your shoulders. I'm just going to take a few rounds settling into our breath and releasing. Breathing in faith, hope, love. Releasing fear, doubt, and judgment, whether that be towards ourselves or to someone else. Take a few rounds of this. As you end, maybe take your shoulders in the opposite direction of your hips. Really stretch out. And then we're going to reach our right arm to the sky, look up, and thread the needle. Right arm comes under your left arm. Hips stay high. Feeling that stretch and that release. Breathing in, sinking into your Ujjayi breath. One more breath in. Come back up to all fours. We're going to repeat on the left side. So left arm comes up, look up, and thread the needle. Feel the stretch to your arm. You can bring this arm out if you'd like to get a stretch through more of that right side body. Take one more deep breath in. Exhale, come back up to all fours. We're going to press ourselves into a downward facing dog. So hands root into your mat, tailbone to the sky. Since this is our first down dog, just pedal it out. Really sink in, settle into your practice. Ears are between your biceps, tailbone to the sky. Let your heels sink down towards the mat. They don't have to touch. Breathe in here. I would have a very slippy mat experience. That's okay. Breathe in, look forward, bend your knees, and step yourself forward. Hang in a ragdoll position. Feet are hip-width distance apart. Grabbing opposite elbows with opposite hands. Really sinking. You can bend your knees a lot if you need to. You really want to kind of fold yourself in half. Let everything just flow off your back. Sinking into your practice. Swaying back and forth. Release through your hips. Breathe in. Rise up. Tadasana. Look up at the sky. Bring your hands to heart center. Set your intention for your practice. What are you letting go of? And with every breath, every exhale, release a little bit more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. I don't know what kind of bug that was. Hands are on your shin. Back is flat. Ooh, it's still on me. Nature, it's all over me. Get it off. Okay. Hips come back. Crown comes to the front of your mat. Shoulder blades are down your back. Exhale, fold. Step back into high push-up. I'm not going to be totally on my mat or whatever this is, that's fine. Pull everything in. And take this plank, we're going to hold it for a little bit, for several cycles of breath. So I want you to breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your nose. One more. Then press yourself forward. Bend your elbows to 90 degrees. Come up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing in, sigh it out. We're going to inhale our left or right foot to the sky, bend your knee, open your hip. Take some big circles in both directions. Back as well. Really moving into that hip joint. Now let yourself drop over. Wild thing. Release through your shoulder as you take some big arm circles. Now plant your right hand. Step your left, or your right foot to your left hand. Side plank splits. And let's release through that left shoulder now. Again, spinning in big circles, both directions. Then bend your knees. Open up through those hips. Get a little mud on your feet. Plant your hand. We're going to step into side plank figure 4. Right toes are perpendicular to your mat. Sink onto that hip and up. Don't forget your breath. It's how we release and move energy. As you go through this practice, I want you to keep in mind that yoga is a spiritual practice as much as it is a physical practice. Plant your right hand, step your foot forward, sink into low lunge. So take these movements slowly and deliberately, and allow this practice to move energy through and out of your body that needs to be released. Plant your left hand, open up to the right side. Sink a little more into that hip. Breathe in. We're going to plant our right hand on the other side of our foot. Step up. Come into pyramid pose. Hips are even. Back is flat. Crown is long. As your hips press to the back of your mat. Again, open up to the right side, twist through your torso, not your hips. We're not dropping your hips. Back is flat, twist open. Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Plant your right hand, step your left foot behind your right. Cross-legged forward fold. Twisting over to the right side. Unwind. Rise up. High mountain pose. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we're going to jump or step back to a crouching child's pose. Bend your elbows, come into an upward facing dog, and then go back the way you came to downward facing dog. Breathe in, sigh it out. Lift your left foot up, bend your knee, open up your hip, and take some big circles. And then switch directions. Maybe 3 circles in either side, either way. Now drop over, wild thing. Circling your left arm. In case you wondered, I am getting weird looks from the people passing by. Don't care. Plant your left hand. Right foot comes to left, or left foot to right hand. Side plank splits. Taking those big arm circles. Just noticing any differences between sides. Bend your knees. Plant your hand. Side plank figure 4. Again, remembering your breath. In through your nose and out through your nose. Just releasing anything that you need to leave on your mat. Plant that left hand. Left foot comes forward. Right knee drops. Low lunge. Maybe bend your back and look up. Plant your right hand, twist open to the left. There was like no traffic for 15 minutes when I sat here. It's alright. You can listen to the music on my playlist if you prefer that. Okay, plant your left hand, step back into pyramid pose. Left leg forward, right leg back. Hips are flat, back is flat. Get that good stretch all the way across your sacrum. I just keep there might be things crawling on me, don't mind me if I sweep them away. Plant your hand, twist open to the left. Not sinking into those hips, but keeping your hips high. Remembering your Ujjayi breath. We're going to step our right foot behind our left, twisting over to the left side. Your head is heavy. Feeling that stretch all the way through that right hip. Unwind. Rise up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Sigh it out. Bend your knees, look forward on your exhale, jump, step, or hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Tadasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to do 2 more just like that. So inhale, bend your knees, look forward, jump forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, Tadasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Might be easier without the mat, I don't know. You're going to do 1 more on your own breath. 1 breath, 1 movement. Inhale, look forward on your exhale, flow. We'll meet in down dog. Take a couple deep breaths in and sigh them out. Look forward. Bend your knees, jump forward, sink into chair pose. Toes together, heels apart. Shoulders down your back. You can cactus your arms if you'd like to release more through the shoulders. Sink 2 inches lower. Where can you let go in this pose? Is your jaw clenched? Are your shoulders up by your ears? Release what you can. Breathe in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, vinyasa. We're going to inhale our right leg up, step it forward, spin your back heel to 45 degrees, rise up to warrior 1. Hips point forward, arms are over your shoulders, shoulders down your back. Your ribs are knit together, we're not flared out, we're stacked. Move that foot out, sink a little deeper if you can. Remembering it's about breath and movement, not how deep you can get into this pose. Breathe in. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down and vinyasa. Breathe in. Sigh it out. Inhale your right or your left foot. Step it forward. Warrior one. Again, your hips are spinning towards the front. Sink a little deeper. Cartwheel your arms down and vinyasa. All right. I think I'm going to move this out of the way for just a second and see how it goes. Or use the grippy side maybe. Okay. So you're in downward facing dog. Look forward. Jump forward. Sink into chair pose. Breathe in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, vinyasa. This time we're going to take our right foot, step it into crescent lunge. So rooted into that back foot. In fact, I'm going to come over here. Yeah. Up on those toes on your left foot. Arms come up. Breathe in. Exhale, open up to warrior two. Your hips are open. Knee is parallel to the ground. Gaze is over that front arm. Looking into the future, the past is behind you. Breathe in. Breathe in, reach forward. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Pressing into that side. Finding stability. Rest your right arm on your knee, gently, not collapsing. Keeping your chest open. Reach up for extended side angle. Maybe reach towards the front. Maybe gaze up. Breathe in, making sure your knee stays out over your ankle, not collapsing in. Come back through warrior two. Point your toes ahead of you. Toes come in, heels come out, hinge at the hips for a wide-legged forward fold. Just moving some stuff here. Now, I'm walking my hands out. I'm going to take my left arm to right shin, getting a twist, opening up through both my right side body and my left shoulder. Head is heavy. Breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Switch sides, walk your left hand out, right hand, left shin, and twist. Head is heavy. We're feeling our way through, not thinking our way through. Walk your hands back in, rise back up. We're gonna Skandasana, sinking low and slow, side to side. Coming, if you need to, through center, lowering your hands. Coming as low as you can, maybe you lift your heels. Just taking it slow. No rush here. On our next time to the front, we're gonna bring our knee down, and we're gonna come, so walk your right foot to the edge of your mat, either come into lizard pose, opening up that hip, or plant your right hand inside your right foot, reach your left arm back, and grab your foot for a bind. Really kicking your foot into your hand, opening up through that shoulder, and getting a nice deep psoas stretch. Pull your hips square, moving the stretch to your quad. Release your foot, plant your hands inside your knee, up on those back toes. Come into a modified up dog with your knee out. Back the way you came for a downward dog. Breathe in. Sigh it out. We're going to do the left side. Same thing. Breathe in. Bring your left foot to the sky. Step it into crescent lunge. Up on those right toes. Ribs are knit together. Sinking lower if you can. Open up to warrior two. Gaze over that front arm. Set your drishti. Set your gaze on the future. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Keeping low in that front leg. Right or left elbow to left knee, extended side angle, open your chest first, then reach forward. Come back to warrior two. Square your hips, toes in, heels slightly out. Wide-legged forward fold. This time, I'm going to take an arm bind. Letting your, gravity just pull your hands down. Oops. Your head is heavy. Let every thought that you need shake out if it's not serving you. Breathe in. Take a couple more cycles of breath here. Hinge back up and Skandasana. I have twigs in my hair. I highly recommend practicing outside though. This is really beautiful. Really good to ground. Low and slow. Put your hands down if you need to. When we get to the front the next time, turn your feet, drop your knee, and work your left foot out to the left edge of your mat. Again, either taking lizard pose with that hip out and staying on long arms, or let's take a runner's lunge with a bind where we reach our right hand to our right foot, opening up through the shoulder and stretching through that psoas. Square your hips, pull that foot in, moving the stretch to your quad. Breathe in, sigh it out. Release your foot, plant your hands. We're going to do that modified up dog, up on our toes, and back to downward facing dog. Okay, so in our down dog, I want you to take a couple of breaths in. So one deep breath all the way through your nose. Sigh it out. Take another. And one more. Raise your right foot to the sky, step it into crescent lunge. This time, we're gonna do some balance moves. I'm just trying to find a little bit of an even spot on the ground. And this will be good for me to release kind of some pride around this, because if you teeter or topple out of these, it's no big deal. It just means you're working the same balance centers in your brain as if you nailed these poses. So we're gonna inhale. On our exhale, we're gonna kick our left foot forward, grab it with our right hand, and come into a standing twist. Inhale, exhale, grab that foot. Making sure your foot is straight out in front of you. Twist. Kicking your foot into your hand, finding that oppositional movement. Breathe in. We're going to release this into a tree pose. Round through that right foot. Your left foot presses on your thigh. Your thigh presses back onto your left foot. Grow your branches if you'd like, or stay there with your hands in prayer. Look up if you want a balance challenge. It does make it trickier. If you grow your branches, bring your hands back to heart center. We're going to come into half moon. I'm going to back up a little bit because I'm on a bank and I'm going to end up in the creek. Okay, so we're in tree pose. We're just going to kick our foot back, opening up our hips as we bring our right hand either to the ground or a block if you have one. I did not plan ahead. You can keep your hand on your hip, or you can lift it to the sky. For an extra balance challenge, you can take your gaze to the sky. I'm not going to do that today. Now plant your left hand, square your hips, open up your right hand, keeping your hips level, half moon twist. Leg stays up. Hands come back, drop back, Skandasana. I think I'm on the edge of the camera now. There we go. Low and slow. This time, when we come to the front, we're going to turn our hands and we're just going to step back into a high push-up and low push-up. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Sigh it out. Inhale your left foot to the sky, step it forward for crescent lunge. We're going to do that whole series on our other side. Rooting in to that left foot, we're going to kick our right foot forward, take a standing twist. Making sure we're not doing what we are tempted to do in life sometimes, which is moving without moving. So instead of bringing our hip across the front line, it stays out straight. I'm going to face the camera for this and hope I'm in a good spot. So we're in our crescent lunge. We're going to kick our right foot forward. I am definitely on a hill. It's okay. Foot comes straight out and we twist. We don't bring our leg across, okay? So you can bend your knee to do this twist or kick your foot out straight. I know my foot is dirty. It's earthy. Breathe in. Bring your foot into tree pose. Your foot can come to the ground, to your calf, or to your thigh, not to your knee. We're pressing our left hip into that foot as we press the right foot into our thigh. Grow your branches. Shoulders are down your back. You can take a reverse namaste. Prayer hands behind your back to open up those shoulders. Breathe in. Feel yourself grounded and stable. Oops. In that standing leg. And if you fall out, come back. So we're now going to take half moon pose. Bring your hands back to heart center if they're not. Well, it's fine. I'll just stay like this. So we're going to drop our left hand down to the ground. Right foot comes up, trying to stay in one plane. Raise that arm. Foot stays high. Now plant your right hand, square your hips, and open to the left for a standing moon twist, or a half moon twist, sorry. And from here, we'll drop back into Skandasana. I'm going to switch back to side view. Slow and slow lateral movement. On our next time to the front, we vinyasa. Step back. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. So now we're going to sink down to our mat. So I am going to move this back. We're in downward facing dog. Breathe in. On your exhale, drop your knees. We're going to take puppy pose. So our hips are going to be stacked over our knees. We walk our hands out. Drop your chest to your mat. You can come to your forehead, or you can come all the way to your chest. Pressing into those hands, keeping your hips back. So we're not pulling our hips forward, and we're also not sinking them into a child's pose. So it's not like this. It's this. Breathing in, feeling that stretch in your shoulders. Now, pull yourself forwards, come into Sphinx pose. Elbows are under your shoulders, feet are behind you, and if you're on your mat, it's like you're pulling your mat towards you, opening your chest as you do that. Breathing in. Not arching in your back, but feeling that through your shoulders and chest. We're going to exhale ourselves to the ground. Hands are going to come out behind you for a locust pose. So for you, your forehead's going to be on the mat, but I don't want a mouthful of twigs. So I'm just turning my head to the side for a second. We're going to reach our hands back. Our core is engaged. If we lift our feet, it comes from the core, not from our back. And we're going to rise up, reach those hands for your heels. Neck is neutral or long, gazing just in front of you. Your triceps are engaged. Shoulder blades are down your back. Core is tight. Release it to the ground. Bring your knees up. Give them a little bit of a windshield washer movement. We're going to take floor bow. So, grab your feet or your ankles with your hands. Gaze is down at the ground. Hip into your hands. Pulling on your feet, creating that tension. Stretching your shoulders and your chest. Gaze is in front of you. And release. We're going to do that 2 more times. You can use a strap if you need to. Set up for your next one. Grabbing your ankles or your feet, kicking into them. Don't forget to breathe. Don't forget to find places where you can release tension. Now release it all. And we have one more. Okay. Setting up for your last floor bow. Breathe in. Take your feet back. You can rock up on your hips. Inhale. Kick further. And release. Windshield wiper your feet. We're going to do a pretty nice shoulder stretch here. So we're going to come up on our elbows a little bit so we can set up for this. Take your right arm kind of under, left arm over, shoulder pigeon. Sinking into that stretch. You can put your forehead on the block or the floor. You can rest it on your shoulder. Your head can come either, to one side or the other, whichever feels best for you. But relax into this stretch. A big part of letting go is learning to control your thoughts. And when they cycle to what you don't want and what no longer serves you, you release them and let them drift by. And this pose is a great time to practice that. If you feel a lot of pressure or an intensity to this stretch, breathe into your shoulder and let it go. We're going to do 2 more breaths in and out, obviously. And now we're going to slowly unwind. We're going to flatten our arms out and we're going to tilt up onto that right side with our right arm behind us. Your left arm can come around to take a bind, or it can stay in front of you like a kickstand. Your foot can be kickstanded behind you. I have like dirt or sap stuck there. I'm so sorry. We're going to take a few breaths here and then release to the other side. So come back down. This time your left arm comes under, right arm comes over, sinking into that shoulder pigeon. Releasing all the tension, all the thoughts about tension. Releasing the struggle. feeling the stretch without judging it. We're going to slowly unwind our arms. Walk our hands out. Left arm is to the side. We roll up on our right side, stretching out that left shoulder and stomach stretch. Breathing in. Now release. We're going to press ourselves into an upward facing dog. Elbows slightly bent, pressing that chest forward, and then back into a downward facing dog. This time, we're going to kick our right foot up and then plant your shin parallel to the front of your mat. We are on that right hip. For half pigeon, you can stay on long arms, or you can release yourself down to the ground. Today feels like a good day maybe for me to stay on long arms. Breathing into that stretch. Again, these intense postures, if you want to call them that, are an excellent way to practice releasing and to practice controlling your own thoughts. We don't sink onto the side of our hip, we stay up on it. Feeling that stretch all the way through your glute and your hip. If you're listening to the playlist with this, your hips can be a place where you store a lot of trapped emotions. If you have an intense release at any point, let it happen. It's totally normal. It's the point of doing yoga, is to move that energy out that's no longer serving you. If you need to take child's pose, take child's pose. But release whatever you need to release. If you've come down onto your elbows or flat, then bring yourself back up to long arms. We're going to kick that leg behind us as we come into a downward facing dog. Maybe give it a little shake. Plant yourself back in down dog. Bring your left foot up. Half pigeon on the left side. Again, making sure your shin is parallel. You're on your hip, you're not off to one side. Staying on long arms or coming down, whichever works for you in your practice. But breathing into that hip. So nice to be able to practice outside after a long winter. It's beautiful, really, like how nature and our own spirits really reflect each other. We've come out of a long, hard winter. New life and rebirth are here. It's really my favorite time. Okay, come back up to long arms. We're going to kick that leg behind us. Come back into downward facing dog. And this time, we're going to find our way to a seat. So if you want to hop to a seat, hop to a seat. Otherwise, just sit down. Legs come out in front of you. We're going to put our left foot in, right foot out. Reach your arms up. Fold forward using either a strap or you can grab your foot with your hand. Trying to keep your back flat. Sinking into that stretch. Rise up. Switch sides. Right foot in, left foot out. Arms come up and fold. Again, keeping that flat back can. Left foot is flexed. Breathing into that stretch. And release. Both feet come out in front of you. We are going to take boat pose. Yeah, I've gotta have a spot where I can balance, but I think I can. Got like a hill here. Okay, so we're gonna balance on our sits bones. So move any flesh away. Take yourself into a little bit of a C curve so your core is in. Lift your feet. Hands come out. You can straighten your legs if you'd like. I am on an incline and that's not gonna work for me today, so I'm just gonna keep my feet kind of in tabletop position. Arms are long. Breathing in here. And then you can also, so we're going to take a little bit of a challenge here. So inhale, low boat. This is hard on this ground. Exhale, high boat. Low boat, high boat. 2 more. Low boat, high boat. Low boat, high boat. We're going to lie on our backs. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna lie on our backs. Feet come into tabletop position. Okay, well, whatever. Hands are interlocked behind your head. And we're gonna bicycle. So, left elbow, right knee. Don't forget to breathe. Exhale, come up. Inhale, down. I think that's 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Relax. Readjust yourself if you need to. Yeah, I'm not going to do a 60-30 today because kind of in a little bit of a dirty place here. But, well, I'm not going to do it. So what we're going to do now is an inversion of your choice. So you can take bridge or wheel. I'm going to take wheel partially because I don't want my head on the ground any longer than it has to be, but also because it is a bit of a more of a chest opener. But either that is in your practice is fine. So we're going to lie on our back. If you're coming into bridge, your hands will graze your heels. If you're coming into wheel, hands come behind your ears. You can come to the top of your head first. So you're going to breathe in, and on your exhale, push yourself up. Woo. Keep your knees parallel, not splayed out. Breathe in. And come down. We're going to take 2 more rounds of bridge or wheel, whichever's in your practice. Take a short break if you need to. Then come right back up. Bridge or wheel. Breathe in. Exhale, push yourself up. 5 breaths. And come down. And then just take a little bit of a rest. Knees can rest in on each other. And we're going to set up for 1 more round. Plant your hands. Do not hesitate. Press up. Breathing in. And then come down. We're going to take a little bit of a counter stretch. Happy baby. Grab behind your knees, your ankles, or your feet. Tailbone is flat to your mat. Rocking side to side if that feels good to you. If you want an inner thigh stretch, you can take straddle pose. Continuing to breathe. Release your feet. We're going to take our feet to the sky. You can stay in waterfall pose. You can take legs up a wall, or you can take shoulder stand. I'm going to take shoulder stand, so engage your core. Hands are flat. There's something behind my head, but don't worry. You do you. Okay, I think we're good. Press yourself up. Your hips come over your shoulders. Feet come up to the sky. Not looking to the right or the left. Everything's engaged. Now we're going to very gently drop our heels or feet behind us for plow pose. Oops, there's my shoes. They're like a block today. Whatever. Doesn't matter. And now we'll slowly roll down, vertebrae by vertebrae. You can come into your final resting pose if you'd like. I'm going to take one final stretch, knees come up, and I drop them over to the right. Gaze comes over my left hand for our supine twist. I pretty much always take this posture at the end. It feels really good to me. It feels kind of like a nice final release before Shavasana. But if you'd like a longer Shavasana, feel free to take that too. Bring your knees back to center. Reposition if you need to. Then drop your knees over to the left. Gaze to the right. Come back to center. We're going to lie down for our final resting pose. So feet are out long, arms are by your side. We're just going to go through a little bit of a tension and release. So really ball up your feet, clench your legs all the way up to your glutes till you can't do it anymore, then release. Just a really nice way to feel how good it is to let go. Do the same thing with your fists, your arms, your chest, your back, core, and release. And then your throat, where so much gets stuck that's left unsaid. Release that all. Release your jaw. Check in and see if your brow is furrowed. If it is, let it relax. Feel the body supported on the ground. And release completely. take a really deep breath all the way into your belly. Anything that's stuck, breathe it out. And do one more. Roll yourself onto one side with your eyes still closed, using your arm as a pillow. When you're ready, keeping your eyes closed, press yourself into a comfortable seated position. Bring your hands to heart center. We'll seal our practice with one Om. Thumbs to third eye. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste. I hope the sound is okay on this. I really enjoyed practicing outside. I hope you enjoyed this flow. I hope it helped you to let go of anything that you're hanging on to that you've wanted to let go of for a long time. Love you all. Have a great day.